one more time tonight. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Welcome to the jungle. Watch it bring you to your knees. Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home? I wanna go. I wanna know. Oh, won't you please take me home, baby?
Hi Jeff, just want to wish you a massive congratulations on your 1 year anniversary. It is so amazing, well done, you've done so well, such good work. I want to wish you all the best for the future and sending all my love and kisses.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Welcome to today's brand new installment of The Dads, Not Always, on Wrestling. Right here, as always, on the Jeff Meacham Network. I, of course, am the Renegade JJ Williams. Joining me today, none other than the man, the myth, the legend, my co-host, my partner in crime, Jeff Meacham. What's going on, Jeff?
Dude, I tell you, man, it's a big weekend. it's a lot of things going on that a lot of people may or may not be aware of. Of course, if you're not aware, I'm not going to SummerSlam by now. You haven't been watching the last 2 months, but I
was gonna say we've even replaced the dad's graphic with the SummerSlam logo to remind y'all that tomorrow night is SummerSlam.
And not only is tomorrow night SummerSlam, but Sunday night, because even Vince McMahon knew in his heart of hearts that he couldn't dare compare celebrating SummerSlam being back on the road in front of fans, in front of a huge crowd in Vegas, with the Renegade's birthday on Sunday. So Vince, smart man, of course, as I'm saying that, I'm driving to Vegas with my dad here as you're watching this, and I'm probably going to be pissy as hell tomorrow night driving through traffic between SummerSlam and the Pacquiao fight. Yeah. Thanks a lot, McMahon. Appreciate that. Gee, I guess.
Bus. Take the bus.
Well, the thing is,
it's a lot less stressful.
True.
Trust me.
I know. But the thing is, it's so funny that you say that, because when I went up there, the last Frozen Fury. So, no, sorry, not the last one, but the 2013 Frozen Fury, when the Kings were still the home team up there. We had a gig by Rue, our old friend Jenna, doing the Rue thing back in the day. They were supposed to go on at 10 o'clock down at this place, pretty much close to where we're staying here at the Four Queens down there. And the game ended 9:30. We're like, no way we're going to make it. Downtown traffic, man, we made it in a half hour. Of course, they didn't go on till 1 a.m. because Vegas sucks, but we made it. But yeah, traffic between the Pacquiao fight, I guess he's retiring for the 485th time. He's the Terry Funk of professional boxing.
Say, is he on the Terry Funk plan?
He must be. And SummerSlam being at the stadium, which, full capacity for that without people on the floor is heavy enough, man. It's going to be nuts there. But I haven't seen it inside yet, so we'll see how it looks. Anyway, Vince didn't dare compete with your birthday on Sunday, dude.
He knows better than to book against my big 4-5. So.
Exactly, and it's funny that 45 is your number this year, because we just got over a hellacious 45 not too long ago last year. So luckily that's done in the past, and your 45 is at hand. And I just want to, on behalf of everybody that is with my channel and everybody in my little circle of hell that is my friends, happy birthday, brother. We appreciate you being on. We appreciate Dad's being back. We love that you're doing Renegade. And this month is just your hodgepodge, as you call it, at the start of the month. It's your favorite movies. And I'm very excited to keep watching those, because a lot of these I haven't seen, like we talked about. So, very cool to see them play out, and your review from your own heart of your favorite movies. Very cool.
Yeah. And it's funny, thinking about it, that this year is the big 4-5 for me, because 45 kind of ties in a little bit loosely to what we're talking about today.
Yes.
Music, the old 33 1/3, 45 78s.
Yep.
Today we're going to discuss our 10 favorite songs that tell a story. Now, full disclosure, because, just got to be that guy here. It's my birthday Sunday, so I got to get it out. But this is actually the third time we're filming this show. First time we couldn't get all the way through. Jeff wasn't feeling that great. We had to scrap it.
No.
As we say on the channel, it is what it is, baby.
Yes.
Did a second take. Glorious. Beautiful. But then somebody forgot to download it within the 15 days allotted from StreamYard. So here we are with third time's the charm, baby. The triple threat, 3D, the third time around. 3 settings on the old turntable.
That's it.
Gonna try and do this one more time. And to try to prevent any snafus, we're actually doing it on my StreamYard this time.
Yes.
Because as soon as I hit end broadcast in the corner, I click download.
Yes.
So there's no way this isn't going to get downloaded and saved.
Right.
Question now just becomes that in the 2 months Jeff has to edit it, will it be edited and uploaded on time? Or will it be, Dad's going to be late again because I didn't get it up in time?
Hey, first of all, I never problem with getting it up on time. Number 2, to my credit, the replay of Sword in the Stone that I did the day before we taped this, I didn't get going on that till 2:30 in the afternoon. It still was up by 4 o'clock. So there you go. So I can be done. I just rather it not be done like that anymore because it's crazy. And like I said, I don't want to have to worry about, you know, the fine points of it while I'm going up here. So I figure just let Jay do his thing and work his magic.
And this is also a special episode because this is the first episode since the Christmas one you're going to get 2 versions of.
Yes.
You're going to get the standard regular episode over on the Jeff Meacham Network so that he can monetize and, you know, God draw money. Be back in 2 weeks. But then 1 week after this airs on the Jeff Meacham Network, this will go up on the Casa D-18 Studios channel with the actual songs cut in so you can hear the songs. Since I'm not monetized anyways,
We're working on it.
you know, try to get it out there so you can hear what we're talking about in the songs and hear the lyrics themselves. So this is going to be a special one because there's going to be 2 edits of it out there on the social medias, if you will.
That's right. Out there in the internets.
Being as how this is a non-wrestling topic, Jeff, my good friend, you get to go first. So before you take it away, let me just give you the courtesy. Give you the feature over there.
I appreciate it.
Take it away,
that.
Mr. Meacham.
Well, it's kind of half remembering your list now because we've done this approximately 48 times, it feels like. Take 42, what? And if you get that, you're cool with us. We appreciate that. I'm remembering what I said about my number 10 and the fact that, you know, you had to, the song you chose from this artist, you had to heavily choose to edit if you wanted to have it be on any sort of regular play because your song choice, not so much the words. My song choice from this person, if I remember right, there's only 1 F-bomb, so I could actually put it on my channel. It wouldn't be a problem. But
it definitely features less profanity than my choice. But
yes.
If I remember correctly, when we did this the last time, we decided to go ahead and do the dirty version of my song because it expressed more of the raw emotion within the lyrics of the song. So when this does go up on my channel, you will get the explicit version of both songs.
Yeah, and I think by that point in time, we were like, you know what, we said the F word so many times anyway, F it, let's just do it. So
pretty much.
You know, it's pretty much how we were at that point, but trying to be a good boy, concerning where I'm going right now as you watch this, being a good boy does not factor into any equation whatsoever, but you know. I was
going to say, you're going to Sin City.
That's right.
And you're talking about being a good boy.
Well, yeah, especially on Friday night. I ain't got no kid. I ain't got nothing to worry about. I ain't got else to do. That's it. But number 10 for me is one that I never really connected with this artist at all because I didn't understand the overabundance of the profanity. And I'm not a hip hop fan by nature as it is. So, but this song and the movie that the soundtrack it appears on, I love them both. And I don't have any other reasoning for it than that. They both really struck a chord with me that he previously had not struck. So I was very impressed with the movie 8 Mile and the, for lack of a better term, title track from Eminem, Lose Yourself.
One shot, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment. Did you capture it? Just Just let it slip. Yo. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's joking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over, loud. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes rabbit. He choke. He's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his whole back to these ropes. It don't matter. He's dope. He knows that, but he's broke. He's so stagnant. He knows when he goes back to this mobile home. That's when it's back to the lab again, yo. This old rhapsody better go capture this moment and hope it don't. You better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better. This soul's escaping through this hole that is gaping. This world is mine for the taking. Make me king as we move toward a new world order. A normal life is boring, but superstardom's close to postmortem. It only grows harder, homie grows hotter. He blows, it's all over. These hoes is all on him. Coast to coast shows, he's known as the Globetrotter. Lonely roads, God only knows he's grown farther from home. He's no father. He goes home and barely knows his own daughter. But hold your nose, cause here goes the cold water. These hoes don't want him no more. He's cold product. They moved on to the next mo who flows. He knows dove and sold nada. So the soap opera is told, it unfolds. I suppose it's old partner, but the beat goes on. You better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better. No more games, I'ma change what you call rage. Tear this motherfucking roof off like two dogs' cage. I was playing in the beginning, the mood all changed. I've been chewed up and spit out and booed off stage, but I kept rhyming and stepped right in the next cipher. Best believe somebody's paying the Pied Piper. All the pain inside amplified by the fact that I can't get by with my 9 to 5, and I can't provide the right type of life for my family. Cause man, these goddamn food stamps don't buy diapers, and there's no movie, there's no Mackay Pfeiffer. This is my life, and these times are so hard, and it's getting even harder trying to feed and water my seed. Plus, see the thought I caught up between being a father and a prima donna. Baby mama drama screaming on her, too much for me to wanna stay in one spot. Another damn monotony's gotten me to the point I'm like a snail. I've got to formulate a plot or end up in jail or shot. Success is my only motherfucking option. Failure's not. Mama love you, but this trailer's got to go. I cannot grow old in Salem's lot, so here I go, it's my shot. Feet fail me not. This may be the only opportunity that I got. You better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better. You can do anything you set your mind to, man.
Now, the main reason that song struck a chord with me more than anything else, because you know, and so does my son's mom, you know, I didn't see the movie until many, many years later when I received it as a birthday, holiday, whatever it was, gift from the combined efforts of both of y'all. So it had been a minute since I'd seen it or heard of it. Other than the power of the lyrics, which, my goodness, very, very powerful stuff there. And the whole movie just kind of resonates like that. It's just incredible. But for me, the song really kicked into high gear in my heart long before I saw the movie, which was a gift from you and my son's mother many, many years later. But picture an entire wrestling venue with fans and people in the control room watching through this big glass screen. It used to be a viewing area for what it was, the Isoplex back then. And everybody on the roster or in the company, including your guardian angel, Miss Tammy Sitch, all of us sit there doing the same, that movement, that hand movement like this as he's walking out. And yes, I'm the whitest guy to be doing that. That's how it looked. We're all doing it. I'm like, this is an experience. It was very much a prelude to my Rocky Horror thing where everybody was involved in it. Everybody sang along. It was such a monster hit and a huge song around the world that there was not a person in that place that didn't know that song. So it was very cool to have that happen at a wrestling place for me. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's an amazing song. And, for the 2014 Stanley Cup run, like, this was one of my hype songs.
Oh yeah,
going through the series, especially you figured that every series except the finals we went to a Game 7.
Oh my God!
So it was like by the time we got to Game 7 of each series, it was like, look, you got one shot, one opportunity, seize everything you ever wanted. You gonna capture it, or are you gonna get eliminated? You're gonna let it slip. And I'm telling you, Meech, like, that song, just when you hear those guitars drop after the little piano interlude,
yep.
and you hear that dun 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 dun,
Yep.
it's like, it's hard not to get hype, like you see him do in the video. It's like, okay, shake the fingers out, get loose, let's go. We're ready to go fight.
Yeah.
Like, for real, if I was a fighter, if I was a professional athlete and I was going out for a major game, this would be the song on my headset on loop, getting me fired up, because it definitely has that Eye of the Tiger feel to it. And I love the third verse the best.
Yes.
He comes out there, and that's when he just starts getting the angriest. Like, the first couple verses, it's, more martial, being martial. But you get to that third verse, and no more games. I'm going to change what you call rage. I was playing in the beginning. The mood's all changed. I've been chewed up, spit out, booed off stage. It's like, let's get into this. Let's fight. Because I am ready at this point. I am done placating you. This is how I feel.
Right, exactly. And you mentioned the Kings. Like the entire song. Very much the 14 run. Like I said, longest 26 games of my life to this day. But the feeling in that third verse is very much the 2012 champions, man. Because Kings were ridiculed and an afterthought. It's like Nick Aldis said when NWA came back on NWA Power, from the outhouse to the penthouse, man. We were in the outhouse for 45 damn years, and then boom, there we are on top of the world. So I can very much relate to your adopting this song to the Kings 14 run, and overall for me personally. So number 9 is probably going to surprise a lot of people that it's this low on my list, and it is not a slight on the song, the artist, the time of it was released, anything. It's just I happen to like the other 8 above it just a little bit better as we go along. But you cannot have a show, from my point of view, with songs that tell a story than arguably the definitive music video in the history of music videos. And the song that it is based around and the artist it's based around was, at this point, untouchable. Just there was nobody higher on the hierarchy, I guess you can say, as far as music and television and pop culture than the king of pop, Michael Jackson, and his unbelievable storytelling in this song just resonates with anybody that I've ever seen listen to it, watch it, whatever. Of course, I am talking about 1984's Thriller.
It's only a movie.
It's not funny.
You were scared, weren't you?
I wasn't that scared.
You were scared.
It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark. Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make it. And you start to freeze, and so it looks you right between the eyes. You're paralyzed. You hear the door slam and realize there's nowhere left to run. You feel the cold hand. I wonder if you ever see the sun. You close your eyes and hope that this is just imagination. Girl, but all the while you hear a creature creeping up behind. You're out of time. They're out to get you. There's demons closing in on every side. They will possess you unless you change that number on your dial. And now is the time for you and I to cuddle close together. Yeah. All through the night, I'll save you from the terror on the screen. I'll make you see.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize your neighborhood. And whosoever shall be found without the soul for getting down must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse's shell. The foulest stenches in the air, the funk of 40,000 years, and grisly ghouls from every tomb are closing in to seal your doom. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver, for no mere mortal can resist the healing of the thriller.
Now, I know I said Thriller was 84. I believe that's when the video came out, so you have to forgive my ignorance there of the overall presentation. I remember now it's 82 now that I saw the graphic and everything. Oh, geez, oopsie. So
It's all good. It's all good. You know, I almost listed 84 because of the single release, but the album had been out for a while prior to that, so
right.
you may find that on a couple other songs where the release dates don't entirely match up because the album dropped.
Right. But man, that video with Michael as the protagonist, depending on which part of the video you want to watch, and Rita, right? That's Rita.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. God, just an amazing damsel in distress, big time. And then the psycho voice that is Vincent Price. I mean, God, he is everything in this whole song with the little monologue he does during the song and that amazing laugh at the end. Just God, before you had Stephen King and before you had, you know, the horror movies of the 80s or whatever, Vincent Price was, I dare say, still is the master of horror. My goodness. Ugh.
Little tidbit. In my 44 years, well, not quite 45 yet.
Almost, yeah.
When I watched this video back to download it, to edit it, to put it into the presentation,
right.
I don't think I had ever noticed the movie poster in the background when Michael's coming out of the theater.
Right?
House of Wax, starring Vincent Price.
Yep.
Tremendous touch. And
yes.
I don't think I ever had noticed that before. Or if I had noticed it, I never had made the connection before. But just the fact that they were at a theater with a Vincent Price poster, and then he's the one who does, as they call it on the album, the rap.
Right.
Vincent's rap.
Yeah.
But just an amazing touch. John Landis, kudos to you, sir, for throwing that little Easter egg in there long before Renegade knew what the F a Easter egg was, other than the little things that the bunny hit on Easter morning.
That's right. But it's funny even then how, you know, Michael's creative genius combined with whoever he was working with at the time just spilled over because, you know, I mean, Michael was like the original Easter egg guy when it came to his videos. I mean, just there was always this little thing that you never would notice the first, maybe even 2-3 times you watch it. Wait a minute, after the fourth time, oh, I see that now. So just, you know, that's what made, and we're not going to get into this too much because it's, you know, it's a whole other show, but that doesn't make Captain EO so awesome. Just the people involved alone. You've got Michael starring, you got George Lucas producing, and you got Coppola directing. Like, hello. It's like, just, there's some creative minds at work there. And speaking of creative minds in music, oh my goodness, number 8. Holy moly. And, you know, granted, a lot of you youngins out there who have been to concerts recently have seen the Adam Lambert Plus edition of this group. And I'm not taking anything away from Adam whatsoever because, God, that dude is talented for days. I still say he should have won that year, but I don't run Idol. I just vote on it. And apparently it doesn't matter if I vote or not. So, but number 8 for me was not only there, I dare say, other than the combined track of We Are the Champions and this, We Are Rocking the We Are the Champions, there is no more iconic release from these guys than this song. So much so that the story of the lead singer and this group was named, the movie was called this title. So, and I don't know where my hat is right now. I was going to do it like I did last time and throw it on there. But however, if for no other reason, this song being on my list, then the fact that it made its way into the true pop culture lexicon in the 90s, thanks to two guys named Mike Myers and Dana Carvey. If you don't know what I'm talking about by now, then you need to go find whatever black baseball cap you have, throw on a wig if you're like me and have no hair, and do the headbanging along to the one, the only Bohemian Rhapsody.
Is this the real life?
sea, caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. I'm just a poor boy, I need no sympathy, because I'm easy come, easy go, little high, little low. Any way the wind blows doesn't really matter to me. To me. Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun, but now I've gone and thrown it all away. Mama, didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on, as if nothing really matters. Too late, my time has come, sent shivers down my spine, body's aching all the time. Goodbye, everybody, I've got to go, gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama, I don't wanna die. I sometimes wish I'd never been born at I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, Figaro. Magnifico! I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me. He's just a poor boy from a poor family, sparing his life from this monstrosity. Easy come, easy go, will you let me go? Bismillah, no, we will not let you go. Let him go! Bismillah, we will not let you go. Let him go! Bismillah, we will not let you go. Let me go! We'll not let you go. Let me go! We'll not let you go. Let me go! Oh, mamma mia, mamma mia. Mamma mia, let me go. Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me. For me, for me. So you think you can stop me and spit my eye? So you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, baby, can you live
so crazy how I didn't realize that song was, 1975. Like, I could have sworn it was way later. That's how awesome these guys were. Like, a lot of their stuff, you don't realize how old. I'm not, it's classic. It's crazy that it was 1975 release, and here Wayne and Garth were in 1991. The first one, I think,
somewhere in there, 90, 91.
Sitting there
92.
playing that in the car and just doing the whole classic headbang thing. It's just crazy how that song has stood the test of time, much like We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions. I mean, those three songs, you can put on at any sports thing or any party thing or whatever, and people know exactly what it is. You have to name that tune. If you go more than 4 notes, you know what the hell you're talking about. Like, for real. Like, just so iconic. And but the story, this whole show is about story. And man, this guy is just so distraught that he's just looking to check out, and he's writing a letter, singing to his mama, which is just it's so powerful. And God darn it, Freddie Mercury and that voice of his, man, it just shakes you to your very core when you hear that voice, especially doing this song or the other 2 songs I mentioned. Really, anything on their greatest hits compilations just speaks to me on levels that music shouldn't speak to anyone, and it just reverberates through your very soul.
And I disagree. Music should speak to you on those levels. Like that's the whole premise of what made me want to do this as a topic was
True.
These are songs that just reach into your soul and make you feel something. There's a good few of them on my list when we get there that reduce me to tears every time hearing the lyrics in these stories. So far too much these days are there songs that are just songs.
Yeah.
Words that rhyme and go together well, and then maybe they tell a kind of a half-assed story, but they don't give you, like, these stories could be turned into movies. Some of them, the music videos were kind of mini movies, much like Thriller.
Yes.
Some of them, like this one, was just a performance clip to be able to be sent out to shows like American Bandstand, Top of the Pops, shows like that back in the day that, maybe we couldn't get the artist on and booked, but here's a clip of their new song for y'all to check out.
There you go.
And so that's like a big theme for me, is songs that reach in and touch the soul like this one does. It wasn't until Wayne's World that I had heard this song before, as huge as it was when it came out. We'll call it Queen Fever. Had kind of subsided by the time I was really coming into my own musically.
Right.
With the exception of the mega hits like We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions. Another one, Bites the Dust.
Yep.
Even Under Pressure.
Yeah.
Those songs, kind of stayed on the oldies radios when I was a kid. But Bohemian Rhapsody kind of wasn't getting touched by the radio at that point because it is a 6.5-minute song.
Right. And you have to remember, Under Pressure also got a little play. David Bowie was part of it for a good chunk of it. And then, somebody decided to take the music behind it and call it a rap song, and, Vanilla Ice all of a sudden had a hit. So, just... You
know what? Don't knock the Iceman for stealing a great bass lift. But the point being is that Bohemian Rhapsody had kind of gone away by the time Wayne's World came out. And to Mike Myers' credit, he was the guy that was like, this song has to be in this scene.
Yes.
This song is perfect for this scene. And he got the rights. He had talked to Freddie before his passing and Brian and told him, look, they want to do a music video for this song, but I'm trying my damnedest to not make it a movie tie-in video and just have them show the clip again. But of course, he lost that battle, and they ended up splicing in footage from the movie, especially when they get to that part of the song and they're headbanging in the car. You know, iconic now. So much so that Mike Myers paid it back when they did Bohemian Rhapsody. He has a small cameo in the film as their record executive when they're trying to get this song as a single. And he's like, kids aren't going to go driving around headbanging to that song. What did you do some years earlier, Mike? Oh, that's right. You were driving around with your buddies headbanging to the song. You know, it's the whole irony of the situation and the way things come full circle.
So it's funny. The story in this song and the stories behind this song are just almost as iconic as the other one. It's so awesome.
Right?
I love that stuff. It's great.
You know, and there's a term that gets thrown around a lot these days, but I feel that for Freddie and for the one that we just talked about, Michael, the term really fits these two, and that's creative genius. You know, they heard music on levels that even I have yet to be able to really hear music on. And that's why their music still resonates to fans all these years later. You know,
Exactly.
46, 47 years now for Bohemian Rhapsody, because it was a year before I was even born.
I was gonna say.
So, you know.
Yeah, it's. I could have. If it was just, you know, great Queen songs or great. I mean, God, you know, or my favorite songs of all time. You know, we'd be sitting here for days just on Queen alone, between Queen and Michael and then Elvis. You know, the guy just, you know, it'd be a 24-hour episode of Dads, which we don't need to do that to anybody. That's okay.
This one's already going to be the longest one, I can tell. We're not even 30 minutes in yet, and we're just getting ready to go to Jeff's number 7.
Right.
So you can just imagine with the video clips edited in, we're already going to be pushing 45 minutes at this point.
That's it. So number 7 for me, you know, you mentioned, you know, as far as just one of those songs that really, you know, hits you. And, you know, they call 7 a lucky number. 7's always been a luck number or an unlucky number or whatever. You know, this is about a bet that, you know, you literally make a bet with, you know, Beelzebub, man. That's a hard task to undertake for anybody. But this kid, man, I'll tell you what, this fiddler that Charlie Daniels sings about in a iconic song. It came down to 2 Georgia songs for me in this slot. It's either going to be the Night Lights Went Out in Georgia by Vicki Lawrence and of course later Reba, but I have Reba's song coming later, so I want to make sure I save that for where I want it to be. And this song again, Charlie Daniels and the band, just if you have never heard this song in any capacity, you haven't had a radio in your possession the last however many years, or you haven't had a relative, elderly father, grandfather, you know, tell you this story, because this song is just bitchin'. It just love this song so much. It is Charlie Daniels' band. It is The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Down to Georgia, he was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind 'cause he was way behind, and he was willing to make a deal. When he came across this young man sawing on a fiddle and playing it hot, and the devil jumped up on a hickory stump and said, "Boy, let me tell you what, I guess you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too. And if you care to take a dare, I'll make a bet with you. Now you play pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. I bet a fiddle of gold against your soul, 'cause I think I'm better than you." Boy said, "My name's Johnny, and it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet you're gonna regret, 'cause I'm the best as ever been." Johnny, rising up your bow and play your fiddle hard, 'cause hell's broke loose in Georgia and the devil deals the cards. And if you win, you get the shiny fiddle made of gold. If you lose, the devil gets your soul. Devil opened up his case and he said, "I'll start this show," and fire flew from his fingertips as he rosined up his bow. And he pulled his bow across the strings and it made an evil hiss. Then a band of demons joined in and it sounded something like this. Johnny said, well, you're pretty good, old son, but sit down in that chair right there. I'm going to show you how it's done. Fire on the mountain, run, boys, run. The devil's in the house of the rising sun. A chicken in the red pan, a picking out gold. Her granted is a dog, but no child knows. His head because he knew that he'd been beat. And he laid that golden fiddle on the ground at Johnny's feet. Johnny said, devil, just come on back if you ever want to try again. I done told you once, you son of a bitch, I'm the best as ever been. And he played, fire around the run, boys, run. The devil's in the house of the rising sun. The chicken in the red pan, picking out dough. The grand is a dog by no child knows.
And again, we're looking, 42 years. This song is only younger so far than JJ and Star Wars. It's
Pretty much.
And by the way, it's good.
I find it funny, we always talk about my story weaving and my storytelling and how I weave things throughout the show. Your last song has the throwaway line of Beelzebub has a devil pulled aside for me. Now we're talking about that devil man and the deal that he makes with Johnny for that golden fiddle.
See? I'm seeing.
It's such a great segue. I don't even know if you realized it when you were putting it together, but I caught it.
I kind of, based on the next one here after this, they kind of weave a story of, that kind of thing. But we'll get there.
Yeah. But
so
I gotta say, I could be wrong. But The Devil Went Down to Georgia, I believe, is the first time I ever heard a swear word in music. It's like, I told you once, you son of a bitch, I'm the best there's ever been. Best ever was, best ever will be. Okay, now we got the wrestling tie out of the way.
That's it.
But yeah, when he drops that line, and the radios would actually play that, because bitch isn't one of the 7 words that you can't say. So... But as a youngster growing up, I want to say this was the first time I had heard a naughty word, a word that I couldn't repeat in a song.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and that's how powerful the moment was for this young fiddler who, the devil thought he saw weakness in him, but he didn't realize that he had exposed the weakness in himself, trying to get this kid to succumb to the devil and the fiddle playing. And when you think about how many years later that Charlie and everybody did a sequel song, which people don't always remember that there was actually a sequel song to this, and it continues the story pretty much not right after, but close to it.
I was just going to touch on that because it's one of my first honorable mentions that I'm going to drop in here. Back in the early to mid 90s, a fiddler by the name of Mark O'Connor got together with Charlie to do a sequel. The Devil Came Back to Georgia. And you want to talk about an all-star lineup for a
Yes,
song that wasn't a
exactly.
charity single. Because we had charity singles in the past, Band-Aid, We Are the World, USA for Africa. So we had like all-star collabos before. But you want to talk about an all-star collabo without being a fundraising effort. The sequel to this, which we're going to take a listen to, or we're going to talk about right now,
Been 10 long years since the devil laid his fiddle at Johnny's feet, and it burned inside his mind the way he suffered that defeat. In the darkest pits of hell, the devil hatched an evil plan to tempt the fiddle player, for he's just a mortal man. The sin of pride, the devil cried, is what will do you in.
I thought we had this settled. I'm the best it's ever been.
Johnny, did you ever know the time keeps marching on? The coldest hour is the one comes just before the dawn. The devil's back in Georgia, will you stand up to the test? Or will you let the devil be the best?
Truth is, I hadn't played much since the baby came in June. But give me half a minute and I'll get this fiddle back in tune.
The devil grabbed the golden fiddle out of Johnny's hand and said,
Boy, I'm the fiddle player underground, but now walk upon the land. Y'all better just be turning back if you want this boy to win, cause practice is the only cure for the predicament he's in.
Now, devil, it would be a sin for you to get my bow, so you go on back to hell to the woodshed. I will go.
Johnny, are you practicing, or will your hands grow cold? The devil walks the land and plays a fiddle made of gold. Can you hear the babe a-crying? Will he ever know? The devil wants his daddy's very soul.
Before we play, I want to thank you for letting God's own word ring true. He said you can't be trusted.
Yeah, so what you gonna do?
Well, you get your fiddle, devil, if you think that you can win. Cause I beat you once, you old dog, and I can whip your butt again.
John Brown's dream, the devil is red. My little baby loves shortening bread. Devil's dream is that he can win, but Johnny is the best that's ever been.
But I mean, you know, Johnny Cash as the preacher narrator telling the story. You've got Charlie Daniels fiddling in the role of the devil. You've got Travis Tritt speaking for the devil. You've got Mark O'Connor fiddling for the role of Johnny, and Marty Stewart speaking for the role of Johnny. It's like, holy cow.
Holy
this was
hell.
such an amazing sequel.
Yes.
That we didn't know we needed at the time.
Right.
Because The Devil Went Down to Georgia was such an iconic song.
But it had a definitive ending. We didn't really need, you know. Yeah, it's
but
amazing.
It starts, and I want to say Johnny's first words, you know, we just heard it, but speaking on memory, I want to say he says it's been 7 years since the battle.
Yeah.
So it's about half a decade to a decade later. You know, Johnny's a father now.
Yep.
Haven't played much since the baby came in June, but give me half a minute, I'll get this fiddle back in tune. It's like, you think you're catching me at a bad time and you're going to get your stuff back. No, homie. I've told you once, I'm the best as ever been. And he defeats him once again, just sends the devil packing.
Yeah, you never have the devil defeat Johnny in any sort of thing, because God, just especially in the South, man. Yeah, they are so they are who they are down there, man. You can't have the devil win anything, man. Or they get some really wound up folks. Now, number 6 is one of those songs that I always heard as a kid growing up, and it's a beautiful song. There's a beautiful melody to it, but the lyrics really didn't pierce and really get through until much, much later. And I'll go ahead and play the song, or have you play the song since you're doing this? Play the song first, and then we'll go from there. But I really want to just set the stage. It creeps up on you. It really does, especially in that last verse and in that last chorus. So let's go ahead and see what the man who is most famous for many more songs than this, I'm not going to lie, but this is one of my favorites from him. This is The Green, Green Grass of Home from Tom Jones.
The old hometown looks the same, and I step down from the train, and there to meet me is my mama and papa. Down the road I look, and there runs Mary, hair of gold and lips like cherries. It's good to touch the green, green grass of home. Yes, they'll all come to meet me, arms reaching, smiling sweetly. It's good to touch the green, green grass of home. The old house is still standing, though the paint is cracked and dry. And there's that old oak tree that I used to play on. Down the lane I'll walk with my sweet Mary, hair of gold and lips like cherries. It's good to touch the green, green grass of home. Then I awake and look around me at 4 gray walls that surround me, and I realize, yes, I was only dreaming. For you see, there's a God, oh Lord, and there's a sad old padre. Arm in arm, we'll walk at daybreak. Then I'll touch the green, green grass Yes, they'll all come to see me in the shade of that old oak tree as they lay me neath the green, green grass of home.
I mean, when that third verse starts, or third verse, I think, and you realize that all that he's been saying, all that he's been talking about is just up here, and that he's really basically getting ready to walk that proverbial green mile. Like, that's it. They're going to lay him to rest, and his family's going to come see him, but it's going to be after the fact, posthumously. It's just like, jeez. Never really let that sink in for me as a kid. I guess just because I love the song so much as far as the melody. And, when you're sitting in the car with your dad, listening to the radio, you don't really let that stuff, get into your head. But it's like, wow, that is brutal almost. It resonates more now as I get older and older. And I'm not saying I'm getting old by any means, nor, neither one of us are getting, into the point where we're going to think about things like this. But, it's just, you don't having that realization that, this is the end of the road and nobody's here, and there will be nobody here until they're already done. It's just so very, very gut wrenching there when that third verse kicks in. It's like, oh, jeez, it's terrible. Oh.
That's actually happened to me a couple times with songs. Not sure if I have any of them on my list, but songs that, you may have heard when you were younger, and you just think, oh, this is a cool little song. But then you get older and you hear it a little bit more, and you start to get deeper into music and listening to the lyrics and hearing what's really being said. And then it hits you and it's like, whoa, this is some fucked up shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't realize it when you're a kid. You're 5, 6, 7, however old, sitting on your dad's knee or your grandpa's knee listening to his music. It doesn't sit there with you the way it does when you get to be 15, 16, 20, 22, 30, 45. And the music just creeps into you and it slaps you like, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah, just, ugh. Okay. Number 5 ain't any more happy. I'll tell you that right now. Number 5 just keeps on keeping on there with each verse. It's like, oh geez, dude, you need to learn this. You need to get the hell out of there while you can, you dummy.
Fair warning for y'all out there watching. Number 5 is probably the worst quality graphic I have because it's just that old of a song.
Right.
So forgive me if the image isn't the clearest, but continue, Meach.
Yeah. The video you're going to see attached to it on next week's show version is the video is surprisingly for how old it is. Even on YouTube, the video is pretty damn crisp. I'm not going to lie, but screen capping, it's a bitch. No joke. But man, I remember hearing this song in my dad's car back when KRS 101 out here in Southern California was actually an oldie station that played 50 songs. Back before he and I got old, the 50s were the oldies.
I was going to say, they're still technically playing oldies. It's just we've gotten older, so the oldies have gotten newer.
Yeah, the only I get to hear this
to
song.
Natalie and Dylan, these are oldies.
I was gonna say.
To us, this was our childhood. It's like, wait a minute. And if you think about it, that's how our parents felt listening to the oldie stations when we were kids. It's like, wait a minute, this is our childhood. Like, I grew up with these songs. Well,
yeah,
here it is now, damn it.
I didn't feel that old at all until I heard a Janet, not a Michael, a Janet Jackson song. I'm like, yep, that's it. There goes the spine curving. There goes the gray hair. There it is. Yep. Because even Michael was around performing in the 70s, which, okay, the 70s is still oldies. I can deal with that. But
well, the Jackson 5 goes back to the late 60s. But yeah, Michael had
1990s Janet song. Yeah, that was it for me. I'm like, yeah, I'm old. Fuck it. I don't care. Whatever. It is what it is.
I want to say it was Escapade.
Yes.
Was the Janet song that I heard on the oldie station for the first time. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. And it's like you do anything about it when because you're in the car, so you can't like have a mental spasm in the car. And it's like, why? Anyway, but this song, even for the old man, is, well, not actually, no, it's older than him. But this song, I always heard this song with him on K-Earth, and then nowadays, if you have the satellite radios, which is always cool, it's definitely on those 50 stations every single time. Like we hear this song maybe once every other week, more often than not. It's such a great song, a wonderful artist, and unfortunately, it came around, like we said, in an era where there wasn't music videos to. I mean, I'm sure they could do a great one now if they did this, if they recut the song and attach a movie to it, because it's such a great story, as we say here on this show. But from Marty Robbins, El Paso.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl. Nighttime would find me in Rose's Cantina. Music would play and Felina would whirl. Blacker than night were the eyes of Felina, wicked and evil while casting a spell. My love was deep for this Mexican maiden. I was in love, but in vain I could tell. One night a wild young cowboy came in, wild as the West Texas wind. Dashing and daring, a drink he was sharing with wicked Felina, the girl that I love. So in anger I challenged his right for the love of this maiden. Down went his hand for the gun that he wore. My challenge was answered in less than a heartbeat. The handsome young stranger lay dead on the floor. Just for a moment I stood there in silence, shocked for the foul evil deed I had done. Many thoughts raced through my mind as I stood there. I had but one chance, and that was to run. Out through the back door of Roses I ran, out where the horses were tied. I caught a good one, it looked like it could run. Up on its back and away I did ride, just as fast as I could, from the West Texas town of El Paso out to the Badlands of New Mexico. Back in El Paso my life would be worthless. Everything's gone in life, nothing is left. It's been so long since I've seen the young maiden. My love is stronger than my fear of death. I saddled up and away I did go, riding alone in the dark. Baby, tomorrow a bullet will find me. Tonight nothing's worse than this pain in my heart. And at last here I am on the hill overlooking El Paso. I can see Rose's Cantina below. My love is strong and it pushes me onward. Down off the hill to Felina I go. Off to my right I see 5 mounted cowboys. Off to my left, right, a dozen or more. Shouting and shooting, I can't let them catch me. I have to make it to Rose's back door. Something is dreadfully wrong, for I feel a deep burning pain in my soul. Though I am trying to stay in the saddle, I'm getting weary, unable to ride. But my love for Felina is strong, and I rise where I fall. Though I am weary, I can't stop to rest. I white puff of smoke from the rifle. I feel the bullet go deep in my chest. From out of nowhere, Felina has found me, kissing my cheek as she kneels by my side. Cradled by two loving arms that I'll die for, one little kiss and Felina, goodbye.
Oh, that's one more song. That is one song. That's great.
It's again, it's he's just being kind of you almost can't feel bad for the guy because he's moving on somebody else's woman. Like, dude, that's your bad. But then Felina shows who she's aligned with after all at the very end. When one little kiss and Felina go by, she's right there at his side. It's just like, damn, it's just like that's why we always say, just women can't live without them, can't live with them, man. It's just terrible. That's what women do to you, folks. They get you shot in Texas. And you get buried next to Eddie Guerrero, probably, because you're in El Paso. So there you go. And at least Eddie, well, actually, Eddie didn't really go out very well either, but, thanks. But, yeah. At least he wasn't shot in the back. You gotta give Latino heat, at least a little bit. He wasn't shot in the back by some dumbass. So, whew. But, yeah, this song, again, I don't know if it was a banjo in the video or not, but just that old style guitar twang, man, just throughout the whole, that's really all this song is, just guitar twangs for a couple minutes. That's really what it is. And the lyrics are just so damn powerful that you don't need much more than that little subtle thing. That's it. That's all you need. Great stuff. Ugh. All right. Now I know what you're going to include here with this next song, because you have to have the video, and you have to have the whole video because you're a smart ass, and that's fine. But there's also a Easter egg within the artists themselves, and we'll get to that momentarily. But this was one of the first videos I remember seeing as a kid, being a fan of the main artist here, and then seeing the featured artist, if you will, underneath the main marquee person, and who she is to us fans now is interesting. But this song, man, this is every female friend you've ever had who, it's like she's either the wife being set down on, or she's the other woman trying to reconcile being right in her own mind. It is Reba McEntire featuring Linda Davis. Does He Love You?
I've known about you for a while now. When he leaves me, he wears a smile now. As soon as he's away from me, in your arms is where he wants to be. But you're the one he rushes home to. You're the one he gave his name to. I never see his face in the early morning light. You have his mornings, his daytimes, and sometimes I have his nights. But does he love you? Does he love you like he loves me? Like he loves me? Does he think of you? Does he think of you when he's holding me? And does he whisper? All his fantasies? Does he love you? Does he love you like says he needs me and that he wants me, that he believes in me. And when I'm in his arms, oh, he swears there's no one else. Is he deceiving me, or am I deceiving myself? Deceiving myself. Does he love you? Does he love you like he loves me? Like he loves me? Does he think of you? Does he think of you when he's holding me? And does he whisper? Does he whisper all his fantasies? Does he love you? Does he love you like he's been loving shouldn't I lose my temper? And shouldn't I be ashamed? 'Cause I have everything to lose, and I have nothing to gain. Does he love you? Does he love you like he loves me? Does he think of you? Does he think of you when he's holding me? And does he whisper? All his fantasies? Does he love you? Does he love you like he's been loving me? Does he love you?
Cut! Beautiful. Reba, come here. Take a look at this. We got video playback here. Let's roll it. Here, take a look. Look. Boom! There it goes, huh? You like it? You're dead. You're dead. Terrific. That was great. Really good. Very good. Okay, I think we got this. We're okay. We should...
That is crazy that song's 28 years old even. Damn. Do I even have a song past 2002? I don't think I have a song past 2002 on this list, do I? No, I don't.
Well,
Jesus.
yes.
Oh,
you
that's
do.
true. That's true.
When you get to your number one.
Okay, right. But the original song, no. Okay.
Right.
Shows you how old school I am with this music stuff. Okay, so, but yeah, I mean, every one of us in our lives has had that one friend who's either the husband doing the stepping, the wife being stepped on, or the other woman trying to reconcile how crazy her life got so quickly. Like, we've all had those friends, right? And yes, the video is powerful and just it got that voice of Reba's, man. It just gets into your gut, man. Every time. It doesn't matter what she's singing. She can sing the phone book, and it just resonates with you. It's almost as bad as my number 2 voice, which we'll get to momentarily.
Yes.
But Linda Davis, she kind of comes out of like nowhere here, and then goes back into nowhere after this song. She had a couple hits on her own, for sure. We mentioned Linda in the past here, but her name now is the fact that she's Hillary Scott's mom, and Hillary Scott is the female vocalist of Lady A. No, we're not Annabelle. That's wrong. Lady A. So and I've actually had money paid to go see Lady A before they dropped the Interbellum. They're a powerful group, and man, Hillary's got those genes, and you see where she gets it, at least on the female, on her mom's side, man, because Linda's powerful in this one too, man. She is so resolved in her, yes, I know what I'm doing is wrong, but I'm convinced he loves me more than he loves you. It's just like, damn, there is nothing more powerful, as Huey Lewis told us almost 40 years ago, than the power of love. But there's nothing more deadly than a woman scorned on love, man. Woo.
Oh, yeah.
Do not mess with the females. Woo.
No.
Your name.
And I love this song because Well, I mean, I just love Reba. You know, I've seen her live twice now, but I adore Reba. She's timeless. She never seems to age.
No.
You look at the woman today, she almost looks better than she did in that video.
I was going to say, man, and she's
you
been
want to talk
on,
about aging like a fine wine.
Yeah. And it's like she's been like away from the cameras a lot to like kind of be settled. She's been in front of the cameras she had a sitcom for how many years, Teresa?
Love that show.
Hell yes. Great stuff.
But I just want to throw an honorable mention in here because last year, 2020 being what it was, my favorite female country artist released an album, and it was supposed to be this big to do. It was supposed to be a big growing up album. Maturity songs were written to be toured and performed live, and then the pandemic hit. And it just it simmered, but it didn't boil over like it was supposed to.
Right.
But I remember trying to purchase the CD the day it dropped, and of course, Wally World did not have it because we were pandemic, so we were getting shipments of necessities, not, other things.
Right.
So I had to go to the competition day of to get it. But I made sure I got that album the first day it dropped, popped it in my CD player, started listening to it, and I love every song from start to finish. But you get to the fourth song on the album, and it's very much a modern day take on this story. And I adore it so much that I wanted to try and throw it in here. There's no official music video for it, but I did find a performance clip that was done by the two women on an episode of CMT Crossroads. So we're going to go there. This is The Other Girl by Kelsey Ballerini and Halsey.
I bet you're from out west somewhere. Hazel eyes and dark brown hair, and everything you wear fits you just right. I bet you drink martinis dry and never let them see you cry. I bet you're more promiscuous than I bet you're bold, I bet that's why you seem to occupy his time. I bet you're smart, but do you know about me? Is it me? Is it you? Tell me who's the other girl? Who's the first? Who's the fool? Who's the time and who's the girl? Are you mad at me too? And I wonder in this world, is it me? Is it you? Who's the other girl? Who's gonna put on the red dress? Scarlet letter on her chest. Can't love with this on her conscience. Tell me who's the other girl? Girl. Are you the one he's talking to when he gets up and leaves the room and comes back with a distance in his eyes? And maybe I should be the one to leave, but damn, when he starts loving me, it makes me think of all that's on his mind. Is it me? Is it you? Tell me who's the other girl? Who's the first? Who's the fool? Who's the diamond? Who's the girl? Are you mad? Me too. And I wonder in his world, is it me? Is it you? Who's the other girl? Who's gonna put on the red dress? Scarlet letter on her chest. Can't love with this on her conscience. Tell me Is it me? Is it you? Tell me who's the other girl? Who's the first? Who's the fool? Who's the darling? Who's the girl? Are you mad? Me too. And I wonder in this world, is it me? Is it you? Who's the other girl? With all the red dress, scarlet letter on her chest. Can't love with this on her conscience. Tell me who's the other girl? Girl. Who's the other girl?
It's like I said, it's very much just a modern take on the story, you know.
Yep.
Who's the diamond? Who's the pearl? You know, who's the first? Who's the fool?
Yeah.
Who's gonna put on the red dress with the scarlet letter on her chest for adultery, you know?
Yeah.
Which one is the true love?
It's funny that you mentioned this modern day take on what is really a classic story and storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
Period.
If you listen to country music, you've heard this story about 100 times
right.
over the course of 30 minutes, you know. But
What's really funny is Reba does this song out on tour on TV to this day, and I've seen her do it with Carrie Underwood, and you know, to Carrie's credit, man, she stayed. She gets, you know, Carrie's very powerful, and then you get to freaking Kelly Clarkson, who's Reba's daughter-in-law, by the way, and she's just a goober. The whole thing, like she's all like powerful, and then when Reba's singing her, she's like, "Hi." It's like, damn it, can we get it together?
It's one of those things, though. Like it's well documented that Reba is an idol for a ton of these female country performers that have come since her.
Oh yeah.
So to be up there on stage with her as the other woman, so to speak, and being to perform that part alongside of her, I'm sure is just a dream come true for these girls. But Reba always has that look upon her like, I will cut you, bitch. Get away from my man.
I was going to say, she plays it stone cold every
especially
time.
Kelly, she's just got that look on her face like, hee, I'm up here with Reba. I'm the other woman.
Yeah. It's just like, bitch, you know what song you're singing right now? She will cut you right here in front of everybody. I
had to get that one in there for my girl because I have yet to hear her sing a bad song.
Very true.
There's not a song on any of her albums that I skip. You know, I love her music to the point where I own 3 copies of her first 2 albums because I have the original CD that I bought. I have the autographed version of the CD that I bought off of her website. And then I have the vinyl of the album, like you see over my shoulder here.
Yes, sir.
The most recent album, the one that this song comes from, I haven't achieved the vinyl yet. But I still have the CD that I originally bought, and I have the autographed copy that I scored off of her website.
So you've been around long enough where you've seen the fall, for lack of a term, of vinyl and its resurgence. Did you ever think that vinyl would ever become as, I don't know if popular, because it's always been popular, but there would just be so much demand for it now? Figure you're on year 45 tomorrow. Like, I would never have imagined vinyl would make that big a comeback. And not that it ever really went away, per se, but just that it's like people are just like, so, like, they got to have the vinyl now. It's like, man, I guess for me, not having an active player yet, we still got one from Father's Day last year where we're going to install once we get to the house. But it's so fun to me that, you know, that version of commercial music is becoming so dominant again. I love it. It's great.
Well, the music industry is very much works in a cycle. You know, what's new becomes old, becomes new, becomes old. And that's how artists like the Beatles, like Elvis, like Garth Brooks can stay on top of the industry years past their prime. You know, this is the second resurgence of vinyl for me, because you've got to keep in mind, during the mid 90s, vinyl had a major resurgence because of the DJ circuit.
True.
You know, people that would go out to the clubs and parties, very much like how hip hop got its start. You know, people would go grab vinyl, go to the clubs, scratch, mix, loop, you know, create new beats, much like how Run DMC, you know, did back in the day, turning Walk This Way into their version, just looping the beats. And other songs, you know, as we touched about, Vanilla Ice using Under Pressure, MC Hammer using Super Freak for You Can't Touch This.
Yep.
You know, Puff Daddy sampling Hollywood Swinging for Mace. You know, all these things. So this isn't the first resurgence of it. I am a little surprised that it came back again.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not, because music is always evolving. Music is always working in a cycle. And eventually, you know, the record companies want to tap into that market more so for the people my age as opposed to the youth. But the youth ends up gravitating towards it too. And they're like, hey, this is a new medium for us, but it's something I can also talk to my dad, my grandpa about. Hey, can I see what records you have in your collection?
Yeah.
Ooh, what's this? This looks like it might be fun. And then you end up discovering and exploring a whole new realm of music.
Yeah, we have a whole little box over here full of, you know, old vinyls. You know, just again, we're just waiting to break out once we get the thing installed at the other house. But what I found funny, the week we taped this, I don't know if you saw this or not, but I don't know if it was the estate or George Harrison released several different collections based on the anniversary, and one of them was like $1,000. I'm like, how in the hell can they justify charging $1,000? And they look at, that's why. You know, and again, I'm not going to raise that kind of money, but my dad made a great point. But you'll pay how much for a replica wrestling belt? I'm like, touche, very good. Yeah. You know, it's just the market's there.
Yeah, so the market is there, and you know, you've got these artists who have libraries of demos, unreleased songs.
Yep.
You know, songs that were recorded during the sessions that never made albums. You know, one of the most iconic albums of all time, Sgt. Pepper. Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane were written to be on that album.
Right.
But they wanted to put something in the marketplace while the album was getting finished, so it was released as a single, never included on the album.
Right.
So when they did the 50th anniversary, whatever it was, back in 2017, they finally put those songs onto the album and remastered the album.
Right. So there you go.
So, you know. Now that we've gotten way off in the weeds, Jeff, why don't you tell us about your number 3? That's
okay. You know, I'm actually glad we're doing this with this show, because I figured that's how the show would pace. Even here, we're doing it for the 45th time. It's okay. So number 3 for me, you mentioned the gentleman just a few minutes ago, and I was going to mention during that little conversation about the fact that he's released box sets at least once every other year for the last 10 years, just because he ain't had new shit to do recently. So, but
I have a box set of some of his vinyl in my collection.
Oh, they
did a thing at Walmart, and they had the triple live, and then they had some of his studio albums in there. And I believe the song you're going to talk about was on one of the albums included in that box set. So I believe I have the vinyl of this.
Nice. And had I not just purchased the more recent one before that, where it had like the little rectangle box with the different, you know, the influences for his Wind show, I probably would have got that set. But it's like, damn it, Garth, how many sets do I got to buy from your ass? Seriously.
He knows how to make money. That's why you can't find his music on social medias.
Yeah.
Which, let's go ahead and throw that out here right now. If you haven't figured it out, he's talking about Garth Brooks. We'll get to the song in a minute. But I don't believe a video was ever made for this song in the first place. And if there was, you can't really find his videos on YouTube. So for this song, I found a live version.
Nice.
That's actually his voice, not somebody covering it.
Right. God, that's a pain in the ass.
So you'll still at least get to hear Garth sing the song, but there's no video. It's just going to be a image of the album that it's come from, and you know.
But yeah, this song, other than the other song I have chosen from him, which we'll get to later, on my list, this song again is one of those songs where you don't really notice it when it first plays in 1995. Because the music is just extraordinary. The melody, the actual music is just so beautiful. Just the different notations there. It's just so pretty. The song, the music. But then the lyrics are like, oh shit, that's powerful. And when you think about it, which we'll get to after we play the video, there is a tie-in, intentional or otherwise, from another country artist, and we'll get to that momentarily. From Garth Brooks, my number 3, The Beaches of Cheyenne.
Packed up on his buckles and shipped a saddle to his dad. By the way the house looked, she must have took it bad. The workers come on Monday to fix the door and patch the wall. They say she just went crazy the night she got the call. When he was up in Wyoming and drew a bull no man could ride, he promised her he'd turn out. Well, it turned out that he lied. And all the dreams that they'd been living in the California sand died right there beside him in the Cheyenne. Just went crazy, screaming out his name. She ran out into the ocean, and to this day they claim. And you can go down by the water and see her footprints in the sand. 'Cause every night she walks the beaches of Cheyenne. They never found her body, just her diary by the bed that talked about the fight they had and the words that she had said. When he told her he was riding, she said that I don't give a damn if you never come back from Cheyenne. She just went crazy, screaming out his name. She ran out into the ocean, and to this day they think that if you go down by the water, you'll see her footprints in the sand. 'Cause every night she walks the beaches of Cheyenne. Nobody can explain it. Some say she's still alive. They've even claimed they've seen her on the shoreline late at night. If you go down by the water, you'll see her footprints in the sand. 'Cause every night she walks the beaches of Cheyenne. Every night she walks the beaches of Cheyenne.
I mean, again, just first of all, I love the image you chose because that's very much how it like appears in my mind. This angelic figure walking along the beach in a city where there are no beaches. That's the whole point because it's just so. We've all had that moment in our lives with our significant other where we just have that knockdown, drag out, verbal, just, what, F you back, whatever. And luckily, for the most part, we haven't, at least you and I haven't had a situation where the other died before we could make it right. This girl, she, got into it with him and said, I don't care if you come back or not. And then he didn't come back, at least not fully. It's just brutal. And I mentioned the other song it ties into, he passes there in Cheyenne, but either before, I think the other song came before, if I remember right.
I thought that too. I had always assumed that too, but come to my research, the song actually came after.
Okay. Well, we all know, or at least you all should know by now, Garth's affinity for the king himself, George Strait. George Strait had a song, I Can Still Make Cheyenne. It's just like, it ties, like if you play I Can Still Make Cheyenne, and then Beaches of Cheyenne after, and then I think, if I remember what you said when we did this the first time, if you throw in the Garth song Fever right in the middle, Fever is the actual bull riding. Like Fever is the actual moment where that's it. But Beaches of Cheyenne is the after the epilogue, and I Can Still Make Cheyenne is the prologue to it. It's a brutal story. Whether I'm sure neither one of them actually meant to, but knowing them like I do, they probably did, just because they're both a couple of goobers for each other. But just such a good. You know what? I don't know if you have it queued up or not. If you want to go and see it, I knew you did. Take a listen to this. This is I Can Still Make Cheyenne by George Strait, and then tell us what you think of the comparisons of the two.
The telephone rang about 9:15. She heard his voice on the other end of the line. She wondered what was wrong this time. She never knew what his cause might bring. With a cowboy like him, it could be anything. She always expected the worst in the back of her mind. He said it's cold out here and I'm all alone. Didn't make the short go again, and I'm coming home. Oh, I've been away too long. Never got a chance to ride her car. And I know this rodeo's been hard on the song, but I'll be home soon. And honey, is there something wrong? She said, don't bother coming home. By the time you get here, I'll be long gone. There's somebody new, and he sure ain't no rodeo man. He said, I'm sorry it's come down to this. There's so much about you that I'm gonna miss. But it's alright, baby, if I hurry, I can still make Cheyenne. Gotta go now, baby, if I hurry, I can still make Cheyenne. He left that phone dangling off the hook. then slowly turned around and gave it one last look. And then he just walked away. He aimed his truck toward that Wyoming line, with a little luck he could still get there in time. And in that Cheyenne wind you could still hear her say, she said, don't bother coming home. By the time you get here I'll be long gone. There's somebody new and he sure ain't no rodeo man. He said, I'm sorry it's come down to this. There's so much about you that I'm gonna miss. But it's alright, baby, if I hurry I can still make Cheyenne. Gotta go now, baby, if I hurry I can still make Cheyenne. She never knew what his calls might bring. With a cowboy like him, it could be anything. She always expected the worst in the back of her mind.
Seems like a pretty linear story to me there.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you think about it, and I Can Still Make Cheyenne starts with a man who didn't make the ride. You know, I mean, he didn't qualify for the rodeo. So he's like getting ready to come home to his woman. And she's like, you know, don't bother coming home. I've got a new man. You know, do you, boo, do you. Right. I'm over this.
Yeah.
I'm over this cowboy life. And so he's like, well, you know, if I go now, I can still make Cheyenne. Takes off, goes to the rodeo to try to qualify yet again. Like Jeff mentioned, you know, you throw the song The Fever in the middle here, and there's a couple different versions that you can do. Believe it or not, The Fever is actually originally an Aerosmith song.
Oh, I know, but you know, just
telling the fans.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you wouldn't expect something like that that's going to tie into a cowboy story from Aerosmith.
Very true, very true.
But Chris Ledoux, one of Garth's idols, got a hold of that song, put his little flavors on it, and recorded it. Ironically, a man who was a musician and a legitimate cowboy rode the rodeos.
Yes.
So he did his version, and then Garth basically took Chris's version and covered it. So you can either throw Chris's version in there for a little bit of diversity, or you can go with Garth's. But either way, it represents the bull ride, you know, the fever that the man has and how crazy he is. And then you get to Garth's song, and he drew a bull that no man could ride, and he died on the beaches in Cheyenne. They found her journal by her side that told of the words that she said, you know, the last time that they talked, and all this regret that she's now having for handling the situation she did and not being able to make amends and apologize for it. And it's such a beautifully woven story, and it goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Songs that can just get in there and reach into your soul. You know, I had never heard this song prior to getting ready to go and see Garth the first time. This song had kind of come out during my absence of country music, when I was more into my hip-hop phase.
Right.
So when I was trying to get into and learn the songs that I could see on the set list that Garth was performing every night, I'm listening to the song and I'm like, I don't want to hear this shit. What is he singing this song for? I don't get it.
Right.
But then I started to listen to it more and more because you want to know the words. And, you know, much like we talked about the green, green grass of home, and not really realizing what's going on there until you really pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And you got to figure, I only saw Garth for the first time maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So I wasn't that young at the time. But still, when I finally started focusing and listening to it, and it's like, oh, wow, okay, now I got it. I could understand why he was telling this story, and it's just so beautiful.
Exactly.
Just so beautiful.
Yes. And again, you know, it's funny. You mentioned it didn't really hit you at first. When it first came out, I didn't like latch onto it, but man, after it was a matter of weeks. Like before, it was one of my favorite Garth songs ever. It's that powerful.
The only song from this album, the Fresh Horses album, that I really paid attention to at the time of its release, when I was already out of country music, was the song "The Change" that came out, and the video was done because of the Oklahoma City bombings.
Yeah. And
listening to that song, and that song, from the minute I heard it, was just another one that gripped into my soul.
Yep.
You know, I won't show the video for that one. You guys can look that up on your own if you want.
Yeah.
We're already playing enough clips that Facebook's going to deem me for, that I'm going to have to try and fight them and be like, hey, free use commentary. We're commentating on this stuff.
That's it.
But, you know, that song, at a time when I wasn't into country music, really, really ripped me to shreds, and still does. It's another one that just reduces me to a mess every time. But
every time.
The Beaches of Cheyenne is so, so good. And I, over the months leading up to that concert, and now having seen him perform it 5 times
in 3 weeks,
I totally get, you know, why he does it.
Definitely. So number 2 for me started out as a selection I was making based on a group that made this song their own in its most famous version, whatever you want to call it. And then
they wrote it, didn't they?
I believe they wrote it, and but they wrote it for somebody else, as I will get to in just a second here. But through the edumacations of Big Frank in there, I realized that it was written for somebody else, and I listened to that person's version of it, which happens to have them on backup. Let's not forget that. And I went, yeah, this is more awesome. Because much like for our generation, if you want to call us in the same generation, that had Shania Twain as their like country hottie, I guess is a really derogative term. It sounds like coming out of my mouth, but like, just, you know, she was the country female that you really like. It was almost taboo to like her, because was she really country? Is she not really country? Is she pop? You know, we don't know, but she's hot as hell, so I'm all about it. This woman was that person to the previous generation for pretty much all genres of music, because this woman could sing any damn thing, including the brief phone book on my phone here. I'd still pay to see her do it. This voice is, I've been told more than once that if my mama was my mama, this woman would be my mama, because my dad loves her this much. And it is very much the same situation as Julie Andrews, where it is such a damn shame that her ability to sing has been ripped from her by things out of her control. Because, man, this woman could sing, and you're going to hear it right now, accompanied by the group that later became the Eagles, or just Eagles if you want to be really with them. This is Linda Ronstadt singing the all-time classic, Desperado.
Desperado, why don't you come to your senses? You've been out riding thin for so long now. Oh, you're a hard one, but I know that you got your reasons. These things that are pleasing you will hurt you somehow. Don't you drive the queen of diamonds, boy, she'll beat you if she's able. And the queen of hearts is always your best bet. Well, it seems to me some fine things have been laid upon your table, but you only want the ones that you can't get. Desperado, oh, you ain't getting no younger. Your pain and your hunger are driving you home. And freedom, oh, freedom, well, that's just some people talking. You're prisoners walking through this world all alone. Don't you think it's cold in the wintertime? Sky won't snow and the sun won't shine. It's hard to tell the nighttime from the day. Senses, come down from your fences and open the gate. It may be raining, but there's a rainbow above you. You better let somebody love you. Somebody love you.
All right. Get myself.
You want to talk about an underrated voice? I mean, seriously, guys, if you have never heard her sing, but you enjoyed that, I implore you to go find the Linda Ronstadt Greatest Hits album. You're No Good, Desperado, her cover of Buddy Holly's That'll Be the Day, Silver Threads and Golden Needles, Different Drum, When Will I Be Loved, which is probably my favorite song of hers. But I mean, and that's just half of the album right there.
Right?
Like, seriously, 6 out of the 12 greatest hit songs all on one album. Please go give that woman a serious listen.
I mean, just, yeah, you guys seriously don't, like, her voice just reduces me to what I am right now. It's crazy. And I'm so grateful I've seen most everybody on here at least once. Eminem, I'm not going to go pay to see just because that I don't, his whole stuff wouldn't draw me in, obviously. But I did see Michael. Technically, I was about this big, but I did see him. I think I either saw Queen or a really good, no, yeah, I saw Queen Nation. They were damn good. I think I saw Charlie. I did see Tom Jones not too long ago. Marty died before I even had a chance to see him. Reba, actually, it's funny you mentioned Reba, seeing her a couple times. The one time I could have gone, I didn't go because I was at my friend's house watching WrestleMania 8 back in '92. same weekend as Lander's Quake, and I remember that because his dad's truck was bing 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 on the driveway. Like, whoa, that's a big shake.
I saw her the first time. I want to say it was either 94 or 95.
Yeah.
And she was touring with John Michael Montgomery as the opening act.
Who is also underrated, underappreciated. My goodness.
And then me and Teresa went and saw her at Staples Center South.
Right.
For a fundraiser she was doing. Right. I want to say it was for like Cal State Fullerton or something. Like it was
somewhere it was, yeah.
Some college fundraiser had hired her to be the entertainment, and tickets were like $80, $100 a pop for the fundraiser, but it was just her, no opening act.
Right.
And it was another awesome show. But
yeah, I forget who she was touring with at that point, but it wasn't John Michael. I know that. And then I've seen Garth, of course, and I've seen the Eagles, of course, and I actually got to see Linda not too long before she stopped touring. So that was cool. On the subject of Garth, we move on to
really quickly though. Linda, like we were saying, really underrated vocalist. Yeah. The only contemporary, if you could call her that, considering she hasn't really made any new albums since early 2000s, I think, at least not anything successful. It's Kathy Mattea.
Oh yeah, true.
Kathy Mattea is probably the only other one I could really compare Linda Ronstadt to, as far as voice and what she could do with a song and sing the phone book and just rip your guts out. But you're number one, sir. Now that we're an hour plus in, just in the talking part, without throwing the music videos, you know.
There's a reason we were originally going to put this episode on Twitter only. Lordy.
I feel like this episode I should be wearing my Shenanigans shirt, but you know,
for real. I wish now I bought one. That's okay.
Teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network. Get yours today.
That's right. So, number one for me just hits me on levels I can't even properly convey without going into a blubbering, idiotic mess, but I will do my best. It is Garth. I mentioned that. Let's go ahead and play the original Garth song version first, and then we'll go from there. It is arguably his definitive song, "The Thunder Rolls."
Thunderstorms today with strong southwesterly winds to 37 miles per hour. We'll have a high of 59 degrees with the temperature dropping rapidly. The showers and thunderstorms expected to continue into tomorrow morning.
So, I was just wondering.
Wondering what?
Will I see you tomorrow?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
You belong with me, not her. I want you to stay.
Get real. I'm a family man.
"3:30 in the morning, not a soul in sight. The city's looking like a ghost town on a moonlit summer night. Raindrops on the windshield, there's a storm moving in. He's heading back from somewhere that he never should have been. And the thunder rolls, and the thunder rolls. Every light is burning in a house across town. She's pacing by the telephone in her faded flannel gown, asking for a miracle, hoping she's not right, praying it's the weather that's kept him out all night. And the thunder rolls, and the thunder rolls, the thunder rolls, and the lightning strikes. Another love grows cold on a sleepless night as the storm blows all out of control. Deep in her heart, the thunder rolls. She's waiting by the window when he pulls into the drive. She rushes out to hold him, thankful he's alive. But on the wind and rain, a strange new perfume blows, and the lightning flashes in her eyes, and he knows that she knows, and the thunder rolls, and the thunder rolls. Thunder rolls and the lightning strikes. Another love grows cold on a sleepless night as the storm blows on out of control. Deep in her heart, the thunder rolls.
The fact that that song is 31 years old just makes my head go completely. Let me throw that out there now. But damn, man. I mean, if you've never heard that song either on the radio or if you've been fortunate enough to hear the live version, whether you've been there live or not, this song is... You think the story of Does He Love You is bad? Oh, no. No. This dude gets every bit of what he deserves, especially in the video that Garth does. But
this video I could find,
which is awesome. I'm so happy you found it. That's
so
good.
We'll get to see the actual video for this one.
Cool. But what's really funny is the live version of this song, which I'm going to get to momentarily here, is really basically the end of the video. Just no lyrics that are attached to it because you see the resolution of the story. But I want to say Tanya Tucker, right? Yeah, this was written for Tanya Tucker by Garth and his team, and Tanya never cut it as a track. She goes, "Do you mind if we do this?" And damn if they didn't, boy. Woo!
Well, you got to rewind it back just a second.
Okay.
You left off the fact that the whole purpose that this third verse exists is because Tanya felt that she wouldn't just let the guy get away with everything.
Right.
So she asked for a more solid resolution for the female perspective,
which is what we got in the video, ultimately Garth cut. But yeah, there's that third verse, and there's no album cut by Tanya at all. But when Garth actually cut it, produced it, put it on the album, whatever, it was not. The third verse was not included because it was. I didn't want to say the executive record producer executives or whatever were just like, it's a little much. It's a little bit too rough. Let's not do that. So it ended up being like a thing. Like you would go to see Garth and you would wait for that mysterious third verse from Friends in Low Places where, only we get to hear him say "kiss my ass," which is funnier than hell. And then you wait for the third version of this song, which, man, you've been in stadiums and arenas and seen him live, man. The whole arena, like the lightning flashes, it just, major. And even when you watch the version of the video of him doing it live, like if somebody's cut it from there, like, dude, even watching the concerts live on your screen, you're just like, it chills you to the bone. It really does. And then we got into last year. My goodness, State of Mind. If you guys know what I'm talking about, we're going to play it here momentarily. There was a heavy metal group called State of Mind, and they released 2 versions, both on video and on Spotify, which means it's the first time, to my knowledge, that the 3rd verse version of Thunder Rolls has been released on a actual audio release, album release, whatever you want to call it. And it is the first song I listen to every day when I wake up because it's just that powerful. It rules all. So with the 3rd verse release version of the video, let's check this out real quick, and you guys can see why. You guys probably figured out why that 3rd verse didn't make Country Airways in 1990. Here's State of Mind with the Thunder Rolls.
Not a soul in sight. The city's looking like a ghost town on a moonlit summer night. Raindrops on the windshield, there's a storm moving in. He's headed back from somewhere that he never should have been. And the thunder rolls. The thunder rolls.
Burning in a house across town. She's pacing by the telephone in her faded flannel gown, asking for a miracle, hoping she's not right, praying it's the weather that's kept him out all night. And the thunder rolls, and the thunder rolls.
Now the love grows cold on a sleepless night as the storm blows on out of control. Deep down, the thunder She's waiting by the window into the drive. She rushes out to hold him, thankful he's alive. All the wind and rain, strange new perfume blows, and the lightning flashes in her eyes, and he knows that she knows. And the thunder rolls, and the thunder rolls. Thunder rolls and the lightning strikes, and now the love grows cold on a sleepless night as the storm blows on out of control.
All right.
Let me just say, first and foremost, this was the version that nobody knew that we needed.
Right?
A heavy metal band tackling a Garth Brooks classic.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
Dude, you have to give...
Who would have thought?
Yeah, I can't... Yeah, I mean, No Resolve and State of Mind and Brandon David... My God darn it, man. I love the little nuances, too. Like, I don't know if you guys all noticed that. When that cheating bastard's there at his truck and he's looking at his woman and the lightning flashes literally in her eyes, you go, oh, man, it's on. Now, here we go. You know it's doesn't shit. And then, you know, much like the third verse creeps up on you when you're at the concert or whatever, dude, it's so subtle because Brandon just like, you know, he runs back down. He's all calm. He runs back down the hallway. He's just very calm about it. Video is not calm. Oh, she's running down that hallway, grabbing that gun, and again, you don't see it on screen. Even that'd be a little bit too much for 2021. But you see that gun, that gunshot flash across the hall wall there. It's like, oh, he did. Like, damn. This for me will always be the most powerful song that tells a story. Any version you get of it, it doesn't matter who's singing it, whether it's Garth in front of 25,000 people in an arena or you're singing at a karaoke bar with your two buddies who are more drunk than you, so they're actually, yeah, good job, Jeff. Either way, it gets to you, man. And it always gets to me more because when I was younger, my uncle, who lived in Palmdale at the time, he's now up in Canby, Oregon, would play the guitar and sing the song to me as a little boy. So very powerful. And I'm off a clip now. I'm getting the whole different kind of Mike Myers again here. So let me just
it's all good. It's all good. You know, I mean, this is by and far my favorite Garth Brooks song.
Oh yeah.
Has been since the first time I heard it. Yep. Because the video was just so powerful. And for some reason, like, this song I got when I heard it the first time.
Yeah.
Unlike some other songs that kind of crept up on me later. This song, when I first heard it, like, I immediately got what was happening.
Right.
And I think because it's very cut and dry, very straightforward.
Yeah.
And especially with the illusion in the video of her shooting him, like, you got what just went down. But, you know, Garth talks about when he does this song live about songs that get off to a slow start and maybe didn't have the reaction from the media and the industry and the presses that you had hoped they had had. So if you drove the miles to hear this song, well, I hope it's the best version we've ever done of it for you tonight. And literally that is me. Like, I come to Garth to hear that song.
Yep.
Yes, I want to hear all the others too.
Of course.
But that is by and large my favorite song of his. And it's also the only song that we almost both shared.
Nice.
Because, you know, obviously I have images for his songs. I knew what his song lists were, even the other times we did this.
Right.
But the only song that I had to scrap so that we could give you 20 different songs was Thunder Rolls. And ironically, it was going to be my number one also.
Wow.
Because I just love it that much. So that kind of tells you what we think of this song. You know, we've had similarities on our lists before, but for as many story songs that are out there in the world to be consumed, and both of us were going to have the exact same song as our number one, that says everything that you should need to know about the Thunder Rolls.
It is damn near the most powerful song ever written, and that's a pretty bold statement. How long music's been around, but yeah, just saying. I will say this. You know, you've seen him more times than I have fingers on my hands. That's fine. But the one time that I saw him live at the Forum, before the Forum became a church and then became the Forum again.
And I saw him twice at the Forum after the Forum became a church and then became the Forum again. So.
Yeah. I saw him when the Kings were still actually playing at the Forum. So there you go. That's how long ago that was for me.
And then I saw him at Staples Center South also.
Well, there you go.
And then in Vegas, but it wasn't the one-man show. It was like a full-on show.
No. but God, just I don't recall if he opened with it, but man, just figure what 20,000 people in the Forum for a concert roughly back in '97. Just like I don't think I heard Garth any clearer than I heard the other 20,000 people in the arena, because man, everybody was into it every step of the way. Man, we were laughing during Friends in Low Places and American Hong Kong Bar Association, all the other fun stuff, man. But this song came on, it got eerily quiet, and then just everybody's just kind of underneath him there singing with him. It's like, ooh.
Because everybody's waiting for that third verse. It's like, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it?
But what's great is, with this song, he doesn't like sit there and rap. I want you for the other one. It's like you guys probably can't hear the third verse. For Friends in Low Places, man, he just sits there and plays the guitar, and bam, bam, bam. Oh, here we go. It hits you. And I love, and I don't know if anybody else noticed this who's a Garth Brooks fan out there, at the end of State of Mind's version of the third verse, that signature guitar, you hear that, it's like, just that part gets me. I don't know why, but it does. Just it's very much Garth, and it's I'm glad they included it because it's very cool.